Hello everyone, this video is a tutorial on data source and SCDATA, a step-by-step walkthrough on how to build a customized industry classification to track, benchmark, and analyze a specific group of companies. Why data source? The fundamental reason is that industry classifications are too coarse. Typical industry classifications provide a blurry picture due to low resolution. For instance, GICS has 156 sub-industries at the most granular level, level 4, but there are tens of thousands of products and services out there. Look at application software. Companies in this sub-industry offer different types of software such as AI, CAD, and ERP systems to meet different customer needs. Another example. Companies in the sub-industry of specialized consumer services provide different types of services, such as wedding, fade-out, hair, nail, daycare, cleaning, legal, and taxes, and so on, but are all classified into one sub-industry. Data source provides a way for precise industry classification, that is, a clear picture with high resolution. This is critical for benchmarking, as we want to compare apple to apple. User can group companies, that is, define a data source by products or services. For instance, companies offering ERP software or companies providing wedding services, and thus increase the resolution of industry classification significantly from 156 sub-industries to tens of thousands of company groups. Users can also filter out financials and regions to further narrow down the company groups. In this video, we will talk about how to create and use data source. In your workspace, you can access data source here. Inside the data source dashboard, you can create a new data source, search data source by title, edit, copy, and delete the data source, and find projects using the data source, and share the data source to other users. Now let's build the data source. Let's first edit its name and abstract. Suppose we are interested in biotech companies making small molecule drugs with a total revenue greater than $1 billion. To find companies to include in the data source, we can search product and service keywords. And here I picked keywords like biotech, biopharma, and small molecule. We can also select regions to be included in the data source and set range for financials. Right here, for total revenue, I set the lower bound to be $1 billion. We can also search and add individual companies if needed. Then let's build the data source. The system is going to return a list of companies satisfying all these conditions. If you don't like any of the companies returned, you can delete them from the list, and the deleted companies can be found here. You can save the data source here. Once the data source is created, it will appear in all your analysis pages, so you can select it. For instance, in Enterprise Distribution on the left panel, under Data Source, you can see the default source of the platform and all the customized data source you created. For any data source, you can find the projects using it by clicking on its related projects. The pop-up table shows all the projects using this data source and also provides a convenient link for you to quickly access each project. Click on the yellow icon to see which pages of the project used this data source. Please note that a data source can only be deleted if it's not used in any project. The title of the pages using this data source is marked yellow. If you updated the data source but not the page, the lower right corner icon of the page will remind you that this page's data source is updated. A user can share a data source to another user by first searching for the user and sending him or her an invitation. Upon receiving the invitation, the user can accept or deny the invitation. Once accepted, the data source is copied and shared to this user's workspace. Citing a project also copies its data sources in addition to copying other contents, with two exceptions. You cite your own projects, or you cited these projects before, but the data source is not updated since your last citation. For collaborative projects, only the collaboration initiator can introduce his or her data source into the project. Other collaborators can edit the initiator's data sources used in the project, but cannot introduce their own data sources directly into the project. If a collaborator wants to use his or her own data source, he or she can share the data source first to the initiator, who can then introduce it to the collaborative project.